This is the presentation for the 6th Sunday of Ordinary Time, Year A, and Jesus is teaching about God's law. So the doctrinal point is as follows. Matthew chapter 10 presents the Sermon on the Mount. It begins with the Beatitudes, and then Jesus explains that he's not come to destroy the law, but to fulfill it. He goes on to make it clear that God's laws are to be lived in all honesty. He draws attention to serious issues such as anger, adultery, and divorce. The materials you need are gospel characters, as we can see here. They've been spread around. And there are two backdrops, one which is like a country scene or a lake scene. I've got the lake here. And the other one is the temple background, and with a small kind of altar, a table representing an altar. And there are two characters in that particular scene already in place for what's going to unfold. This is how the presentation goes. The words to understand. Moses and the prophets. These were Jewish leaders who lived many years before Jesus. I think they're the only words you'd need to understand for this presentation. I believe you'll understand the rest. The actual presentation will go like this then. Today we listen to what Jesus said when many people gathered to hear his words. The Jewish priests and the leaders were also there, and they accused Jesus of telling the people not to follow the laws. They would burden people with the outward living of the laws, there were many of them, rather than living those laws in the way that God intended from the heart, by being kind and good through thoughts and actions. And this is what Jesus said about this. Do not think that I have come to destroy the law of Moses or the teaching of the prophets. I have not come to destroy their teachings, but to do what they said. I tell you truly, nothing will disappear from the law until heaven and earth have disappeared. Anyone who refuses to obey any command of the law and teaches others not to obey will be the least important in the kingdom of heaven. I tell you that you must do better than the teachers of the law and the Pharisees. If you're not better than they, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever obeys the law and teaches others to obey will be great in the kingdom of heaven. You have heard it said, that you must not murder anyone, But I tell you, if you're even only angry with your brother, you will be judged for it. When you offer a gift to God at the altar, and you remember your brother has something against you, leave the gift and go and make peace with him, and then come back and offer your gift. You have heard that when you make a promise, don't break the promise. But I tell you, don't make a promise using the name of heaven, because heaven is God's throne. Don't make the promise using the name of the earth, because the earth belongs to God. Say only that yes if you mean yes, and only no if you mean no. So, lots of things to ponder there. I wonder why Jesus said, I tell you, you must be better and do better than the teachers of the law and the Pharisees. That must have been pretty hard for them to hear, wouldn't it have been? I wonder what Jesus meant when he said, I tell you, nothing will disappear from the law until heaven and earth have disappeared. I wonder what Jesus is trying to teach people when he says, have you heard that you must not murder anyone? But I tell you, if you are even only angry with your brother, you will be judged. And what he's trying to teach people when he says, say only yes if you mean yes, and no if you mean no. And I wonder, can we think of some ways that we can actually live in our lives today as Jesus teaches?